Hey everybody, what's up? How you doing? What did you do today? How's school going?
You fuck anyone recently?
I know I did.
Well, the heart and mind and soul out of every child in America. Every time you release Mass
it.
Madness.
You know it. From now on, I'm gonna talk like an ABC after school special.
All right.
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. How are you?
Welcome back to the podcast. The only podcast on the podcast. It's a podcast full of podcasts.
The only podcast where Vinnie doesn't have his pop filter on his microphone, apparently.
I do not have a pop filter at the moment. No.
A pop filter.
I'm sorry. And it's also 7:30 in the morning here.
Yes, and it's 9:30 in the morning here, which is a little bit later, but it's still, still early.
Yeah. So I'm eating cereal.
So, we're recording this very early because we are ass at planning, and so we're recording this on Friday morning. So
yeah, this is kind of shit, but yeah, usually we're
other episodes of the podcast aren't.
Well, like some of them we recorded far in advance, not all of them.
Some of them we recorded way too far in advance.
For relevancy's sake, yeah.
Yes. All right. So since we're sort of rushed for time here, we're not going to do any tweet time.
Yeah, well, we haven't done. Did you do that with Lego Lover?
Yeah, I did that with Lego Lover.
Okay.
So we can do that next week. But in today's episode, we are going to be continuing our tradition of reviewing a Thomas movie every other episode, and today we are reviewing Tale of the Brave. I'm going to go first with my opinion just because I have absolutely...
You have a shorter everything.
I have basically nothing to say about it. I think it's very okay. There we go. It's fine. It's a perfectly adequate movie.
Give us like 4 sentences.
The movie's all right. There's a lot of Dinosaurus stuff in there with Andrew Brenner. That's where my joke about Andrew Brenner's dinosaur fetish started off. Gator is a pretty unremarkable character, you know. The music was nice, animation was nice. I liked that the movie sort of focused on Percy a lot. Sorry, I'm sounding like Flute Girl here. The movie focused on Percy quite a bit, and I liked that. But yeah, that's about it. I like the new characters introduced. I like Timothy and Marion and Reg and Gator. I liked all those guys. But yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
It's very all right. That's my thought.
Here's the thing with Tale the Brave is that I hadn't watched it in since it came out in 2014. And in 2014, it was fantastic. It was the best special we had had in terms of writing and story and all of these other good things that you need to have in a film.
Mm-hmm.
And then the year after that, we got The Adventure Begins and Legend of the Lost Treasure. 2 films which did not perfect the art of storytelling, but got pretty damn close to being cohesive narratives. They're pretty close. And then we got The Great Race. And took a major step back. And watching Tale of the Brave, which sort of had that Andrew Brenner story structure that a lot of the other films do have, it just reminded me of how much The Great Race sucks, how much The Railway sucks, and how much this sucks. Because I hear so many people...
God, King of the Railway exists. I totally forgot that movie existed.
Exactly, because you have these 2 amazing films that everyone's been talking about for the past year and a half, Adventure Begins and Legend of the Lost Treasure. And then it's like, oh yeah, wait, so what was that thing before that? Was like the dinosaur fucking... What was that thing? Yeah. And they know, because we sort of forget about it. And then... what we do remember is all these people saying the opinions of the time, which was, oh, this is the best special in terms of writing. The characters get really fleshed out. It's really interesting. And then we're rewatching it now.
Right.
And in my opinion, it is so unremarkable. It's so long.
Yes.
It feels, I mean, again, not literally, because they are all, except for The Adventure Begins, they are all the same length. But it feels so long. It drags out, and as a film, you don't need to see all of these tiny details. You don't need to see Percy does this, Percy does that, Percy. There's like 4 or 5 different scenes involving Percy and the mail train, and that's not an interesting thing for a film that isn't about the mail in any way. It's about Thomas, Percy, and James being brave in one way or another. And to a degree, they do that. But it focuses on the wrong things at the wrong time, because the first 25 minutes or so is about Thomas at the clay pits, and they completely drop that. You don't see Thomas for a really long time. I mean, you do, but he's like at Tidmouth Sheds, like friggin', just talking.
Yeah.
He's not really doing anything. And then you got Percy and Gator's love story.
Ooh.
And that goes on for a while.
Hey man, at least the special was progressive.
And then James just sort of sneaks his little greasy fingers into this, and
His
he just
little
sort of, I'm a main character now.
Greasy, oily fingers.
Greasy and oily fingers. I am eating cereal, so hold on.
Man, this special greases my oil.
It really does. It really does. But it's just so James just sort of comes into it out of freaking nowhere. And as a film, obviously I'm not expecting every character to be, introduced from special to special, because we know they're pre-established characters. But like, if you're thinking, if this was the first Thomas film you ever watched, you would be fucking confused as hell. Because you walk in and it's okay, I know who Thomas the Tank Engine is, and then you get introduced to who Bill and Ben and Marion and Timothy are. And you do get introduced to who Percy is, and then James just comes the fuck out of nowhere. Who's this red guy? You don't know who this red guy is, and he just starts doing things, and it's like, I'm gonna be the villain now. Kind of.
He's closest. He's kind of like Spencer from Hero of the Rails.
Yeah. I mean, Spencer was more of a direct villain. I think James is really just more of a. I mean, he's not. He's sort of.
You know how they say some people are anti-heroes? Can we say James is like an anti-villain? Sort of.
That's pretty accurate, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything more to say about the movie?
I do, a lot.
Okay,
yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, basically, watching this film again just reminded me of the typical. I don't know if it's Andrew Brenner. I don't know if it's Mattel. But somebody here is at fault, because we are getting the same film over and over and over again. And it's disguised, they package it as different things: King of the Railway, Tale of the Brave, Legend of the Lost Treasure. But everything, if you think about it, the past 4 years, not including The Adventure Begins, because that's that Walmart exclusive off thing. That's not the main special. If you're looking at the main specials from the past 4 years, we have gotten the same film 4 times, and it's fucking irritating, because we are no longer watching Thomas films.
Yeah,
they are no longer stories. These are no longer stories with a cohesive narrative. I don't think they ever really were.
No.
But something like Calling All Engines, as shitty as it was, tried to tell a story that didn't really sell many toys. There weren't a bunch of new characters. It just sort of told its story and progressed.
I mean, it did bring back like Rusty and Lady and Diesel 10 for no fucking reason, but other than that,
no, exactly. But it was a 60th anniversary, blah blah blah, and they wanted to tell a story.
That's true.
They didn't want. I mean, they did sell toys from it, but it wasn't designed to be a merchandising machine. These past 4 specials and previous ones, but especially these past 4 specials, were basically, okay, we need to sell toys, make a movie around that concept, especially The Great Race.
Because we've had
The Great Race in concept is Andrew Brenner getting handed a folder from Mattel saying, okay, we want these international characters, we want a Thomas Bridge jump, make it happen. Somehow make this into a story. And he tried his damnedest.
He tried his best.
Again, the thing is, long story short, Mattel has us by the balls, because we are going to buy these toys regardless. We are going to spend them. It doesn't even matter how shit they are. We are gonna go buy the new wooden railway engine.
That actually perfectly segues into the point I was gonna make. Can we talk for a second about all the shitty merchandise that this special spawned? I mean, we had Wooden Railway Timothy, Timothy, the character is great, but the Wooden Railway model of Timothy is really not great.
I do not like it.
It's disgusting. And then we got the scrap monster that's just kind of there. I mean, what's the purpose of it? You just have it on your set. You can't, like, literally put it anywhere. It just looks so awkward.
I have done this review before in another video.
Oh, so yeah. You? Okay, well, we've also had that dumb, like, mine thing where you slide the switch and the dinosaur appears. You know the one I'm talking about, the fossil discovery thing?
Fossil.
Here,
No.
I'll send you a picture. You've never seen it before, really, or maybe you just don't know what I'm talking about.
Wait, are they the fossil cars?
No. It's like a
Was that
mind. It's like
from
a mind
Dinos and
thing.
Discovery?
It's like a mind thing, and you slide the switch, and then a dinosaur appears. Here, I'll send you the picture.
Is it that giant set with the table?
No,
Oh.
I sent you a picture.
Oh, that fucking thing.
Yeah, I've tried one of those, and you just can't see shit. The dinosaur doesn't appear. You just can't see anything. But I think the worst offender here is the Reg and Percy at the Scrapyard set. That set is such a piece of garbage.
It's a figure 8 with one cool building. I will admit, the green plastic building, I use that on sets all the fucking time. It's really nice.
And it's got Reg. I mean,
and that's about it. That's about it.
And it comes with like 2 pieces of silver track so that you can make Reg go like 2 feet.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks. If it came with more pieces of track so you could build like your own little mini thing for Reg, I'd be okay with that. But I guess not. Although I did really dig the Thomas Fossil Run set, the one with Timothy, like the giant clay pit set. I did dig that one. That was cool.
I do not have that.
I like it. I actually like it. It's pretty clunky and like kind of hard to set up, but I actually dig it.
Okay, great.
Get it? Dig it? Because it's in the clay pits?
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Jokes.
No, but basically, what I'm trying to get to is that we are going to buy the product regardless. We're going to go out and buy the Amazon release or the DVDs. We're going to go out. We're going to go out and buy the Trackmaster and the Wooden Railway toys. That is set in stone. Very few people are going to not do that in their head. They're going to continue buying the merchandise. So, if Mattel realizes this, and I think they do, if Mattel realizes this, why do we keep getting the same film over and over and over again? Because King of the Railway, Tale of the Brave, Legend of the Lost Treasure, and The Great Race are the same film over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas, Percy, and James are doing something or rather. They come across a bunch of new characters that happen to sort of tie into some generic children's theme: castles, dinosaurs, pirates, or racing. Just the concept of racing, like NASCAR and shit.
NASCAR.
Yeah, shut up, Geekray. Basically, Mattel has us by the balls, and they realize this, but the thing that they need to adapt to is the fact they need to learn and evolve, because they did evolve. They were getting Tale of the Brave, admittedly, is better than King of the Railway. King of the Railway kind of sucked.
Yes.
This one sucked slightly less. Legend of the Lost Treasure was really, really close to perfect. It was so close to perfect. But every single one of these films has a good 20-minute, maybe even 30-minute period in the middle
where just nothing happens.
Nothing happens at all.
Exactly.
Tale of the Brave, I feel, is the worst contender of this, because the entire film...
That's the entire movie. Nothing happens.
Nothing happens. They could have cut half an hour out of it and made it like 2 episodes.
I mean, they even send Gator home at the end, and that doesn't mean anything because he comes back.
Gator does come back. Like, he came back for like 1 episode, but it wasn't like the hero situation where it's like, I will stay now. Hello. Gator actually legitimately left. He is not part of the series anymore, I don't think. But basically, what I'm getting at is that every film has the same structure because Andrew Brenner doesn't know what to do. I honestly think The Great Race is a fantastic representation of his talents being strained, because he's a good writer.
Mm-hmm.
He knows how to do the episodes. There are some fantastic episodes, really good, not shit episodes in season 18, 19, 20. And there are a lot of shit episodes in season 18, 19, 20. But there's a lot of good ones too. He knows how to tell the stories in the smaller format. But the bigger films, I'm getting the vibe that we are beginning to slip back into the Sharon Miller way.
Don't even say that, man. Don't do that to me.
I'm not kidding. We are slipping back into the same Sharon Miller format. It's not it's changed. It is developed more. It is not as blatantly unintelligent as that one was. But it's so clear that Andrew Brenner has some kind of writing formula, or more likely case, Mattel does, because Mattel is the one that dictates everything. And as someone who works for the TCC, still to this day, I can tell you that Mattel, that they are dictators. They are control freaks. They do micromanage every little aspect of whatever your product is until it's what they think it should be. And when you get to the point where we have 4 films that are the exact same with tonal differences, different characters, Tale the Brave tried to do something slightly different, which none of the other films did, which was change the main character. The other 3 films are all about Thomas. It's the Thomas show, pretty much. But this one, Thomas is like the first 20 minutes or so, and then you got Percy, and then you got Gator, which I honestly think makes this one probably, in all honesty, this one is probably the worst, in my opinion, because all the other films, regardless of all the shit filler, all the stuff where the plot just stops for 20 minutes and we have a bunch of filler scenes at the docks and at the station, and you have Thomas interacting with the new engine, whatever. This film doesn't even know who its main character is. Could you honestly tell me which you wouldn't be able to say? Percy's not the main character, because there's a huge chunk of the film where he's not in that. Thomas is not the main character. James is the anti-villain who shows up for the first time in like 35 minutes into the film, talking about how he's going to be scrapped or whatever.
It's Topper's That's the main character.
And that's exactly. So, yeah, we do not. This one feels the worst to me because at the very least, King of the Railway, yeah, you could. Thomas and Percy were, and James, sort of, but Thomas and Percy were like the main characters there, and Stephen was doing his thing in the background. But there was never a point where Thomas and Percy just disappeared from the film for like 20 minutes. We don't have a main character in this film, and they don't balance the characters very well because they don't know how to do it. They do not know how to make a feature-length toy commercial. We are getting back to Batman and Robin levels of thinking here.
Oh my God, no.
You are given a financially successful franchise, and they want to continue milking that getting the whatever it is cash cow. That's what it is. They want to keep milking the cash cow, so we have a thing where it's okay. Well, Batman and Robin was they handed them a bunch of action figure and die-cast toy designs and said, make a movie from this and get George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell back and whatever.
Dude, I saw a commercial. Sorry, I'm distracting you here, but I saw a commercial. I was watching TV last night, and I saw a commercial for like NCIS or something like that, and Chris O'Donnell's on it, and he's gotten really fat.
Actually, yeah, you're right. He has.
Chris O'Donnell's gotten fat, dude.
Well, it's the only thing he does anymore. He doesn't have any other consistent work.
Oh, that's sad. Poor Chris O'Donnell, man. Actually, no, not poor Chris O'Donnell. He was a bad actor. Just kidding.
He did what he could with the freaking scripts. But anyways, what I'm getting at here,
yes,
we haven't. Okay, this is gonna cause a lot of blasphemy. I mean, this is blasphemy. But if you think about it, if you really think about it, the Sharon Miller films had a better conception of a consistent story than these do. Because, for example, Blue Mountain Mystery, there was never a point where you had 20 minutes of just, hey, the character's going to sit around and they might pull the mail train and they might just do this or whatever. Blue Mountain Mystery, everything that happens slowly progresses the plot. Everything that happens makes sense. It happens for a reason. There isn't just a scene where James is going to go to the scrapyard to introduce a new character named Reg, who's never going to fucking appear again.
Damn,
that's it.
Hold on, what the hell? Okay, Chris O'Donnell was like the last considered thing for both Jack Dawson in Titanic and Peter Parker in Spider-Man.
Okay, he was like, why the fuck would they cast him as Peter Parker? In 2001, he was like 30 when they filmed Batman and Robin's supposed to be like a 7-year-old kid.
I don't think he's that young, but yeah.
I mean, certain iterations. But
Okay,
Like
that's
Tim Drake's pretty freaking young.
I cannot picture him as Jack Dawson. What the heck?
No, I don't. No, no, because I'm just imagining him with the '90s haircut and the pierced ear that Joel Schumacher made him get.
I mean, the only reason DiCaprio pulled off his dumbass look in Titanic is because he's DiCaprio and he can pull off anything. But oh, that's so weird. I'm sorry.
Now when I'm like imagining, I'm trying to imagine him in like other roles. Now I'm thinking about that kid from that Disney movie Treasure Planet.
Oh man.
That is Chris O'Donnell in animated form.
Oh no, Leonardo DiCaprio almost got cast as Robin in Batman and Forever. Oh no. Whew, dodged a bullet.
That
Dodged a bullet
maybe.
there. Whew.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. No, but okay. Back to what I was saying. Okay. Back to what I was saying with this is we are the Sharon Miller films. They were shit.
Yes.
They made no sense. But
But
at the very least, the story kept going. Everything that happened. So okay, Day of the Diesels. Yeah, sort of. I have to rewatch that one. That's my least favorite one, honestly. But all the other ones, King, no King,
really?
Hero of
Day of the Diesels is your least favorite one?
Day of the Diesel, my least favorite one, and I will do that in great detail when we do a Day of the Diesels episode.
Okay.
But Hero of the Rails, everything that happens for a reason. Hero is being built slowly, and you get to see why the tension builds. The tension builds. Most, if not all, all of the Andrew Brenner specials just have this giant filler point in the film. All of them do, and Tale of the Brave is the worst offender because majority, if not all of the film, is just filler.
Yeah.
It's just, okay, the engines do this job, and the engines do that job, and Percy's... Okay, somehow, they made me hate Percy. I don't know. He's been annoying as hell in the past. I don't know how, but this is just something that came to my head. I was thinking, because I rewatched the film yesterday in preparation for this recording, and watching Percy in this film, it genuinely made me hate the character.
Damn.
Because it was so annoying and so unreasonably frightened of everything.
Can we also just talk about? Oh, sorry. Are you gonna rant about Percy?
Even to an extent, and this is coming from a guy who hates Day of the Diesels more than Donald Trump, which is quite a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, Day of the Diesels is the worst film in my opinion. And like I said, I'll get to that point later in a couple episodes from now. But even in Day of the Diesels, what he did mostly, not all of it, but mostly what he did made sense in terms of the character. Yeah, he sat around in the diesel works, he was unsuspecting, but oh look, these diesels are kind of nice, and I don't have any friends, maybe this will be okay. All the things that he did work within the character of Percy. If you watch Tale of the Brave, and then think back to Percy from like season 2 or season 3, that's not the same character. That is not the same character, and it's fucking irritating as hell, because Percy is so annoying in this one, and Thomas... You made me hate Thomas, you guys. How did you figured out a way?
I've hated Thomas since Misty Island Rescue.
No, but that's not really Thomas. Andrew Brenner sort of made the promise that, yeah, I know Mattel kind of sucks, but I'm going to try and bring the real Thomas back into this. Thomas is so boring in this movie. He's so boring. Nothing interesting happens to him. He doesn't say anything interesting. He's like, yeah, I mean, I'm going to go to the clay pits. And I might, look for some dinos, but, I mean, I should be going to the docks, but I'm not going to go to the docks, because I don't want to look for dinos. Hey, Timothy, how's it going? Oh, hi, Thomas. I am a new character. I am available at all good bookstores. Hello. And then it's Mattel
God, this movie fucking introduced 4 new characters. It started that trend of introducing, at least 4 new characters per movie.
They did not start that trend, no.
What started the trend, then, would you say?
Hero of the Rails.
Oh, okay, that's true. You're right.
Hero of the Rails was the first one to do, hey, here's a bunch of new characters, and
we're gonna act like have been on Sodor the whole time.
Yes, exactly.
That just confuses the fuck out of me. They just could act like
that's the weird thing, is that we, not always, but we have sort of gotten used to the new character that isn't really introduced. It's just like, yeah, here's Victor. He's always worked at the Steamworks. Yeah, here's Misty Island the Logging Locos, they've always just been here. Hey, Day of the Diesels, look at Den Dart and Sidney Paxton Norman. They've always just been
I'm
here,
still
just
upset that
at Diesel
they
Works.
totally missed an opportunity just to reintroduce Splatter and Dodge by replacing Paxton and Sydney with Splatter and Dodge. Missed an opportunity there, man. I'm pissed.
All right, but what I'm getting at with all these new characters is that it's 2016. People, there used to be a time where in the 80s where children's shows were dictated specifically by, okay, this toy made a lot of money, we got to make a show about it, like this, or like Transformers or Muppet Babies or something like that. All of the kids shows at the time were dictated specifically by, okay, here's the toy and then we'll make the show. They made the toy, then we'll make the show and the other merchandise involving, but it's still the toy. Thomas and Friends is the complete opposite of that because it started as books, and then it was a TV show, and then a ridiculously successful merchandise campaign, which has basically not stopped since the early 90s. We have had perpetual Thomas toys ever since the big boom of like 90, like right around the time the Wooden Railway came out. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Maybe that's wink, wink, me. That's part of the success. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm just saying.
Very subtle.
Yeah, very. But it's okay. We are no longer in the 80s where it's okay, we're going to make the toys and then you can do your special, you can do your Thomas movie thing, whatever. We've done 4 films. We've a hell of a lot more than 4 films. We've done 4 films that are the exact same idea, story structure, and the idea that, okay, we got to introduce 4 or 5, 3, 4, 5 new characters, whatever. Or maybe if it's the Great Race, we'll introduce like fucking 20. Why not?
And a bridge jump.
And a bridge jump because
Fuck it, why not?
there's always that one big mandated action scene.
Right.
In The Great Race, it's the bridge jump. Tale of the Brave, it's the cranky, stupid fucking ship thing that adds nothing to the plot because Percy wasn't even on the boat.
That was in Tale of the Brave? Really?
Tale of the Brave did the cranky thing.
I already forgot it. I already forgot that.
Not only did you already forget it, but it had nothing to do with, it did not progress the plot at all. It was just more filler to run out that 60-minute running time. The problem with all of these films is that they are toy commercials, but they don't need to be. Andrew Brenner is he's proven to be a good writer. He is not incompetent like Sharon Miller. He knows what he's doing. But Mattel is still going on the idea that, okay, we'll make the toys, we'll design the toys, we'll pick the merchandise and all these things, and then you can make your movie that somehow ties all these things together. We don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah, we really don't.
Like I said earlier, you have the audience by the balls. They're going to buy your DVDs and your toys and your books and everything. We're going to spend that money regardless. There's no longer an if of, oh, I don't know if we're going to be able to sell these toys. These toys are going to be sold out. Regardless, it's going to happen. We're going to buy Timothy, Bash, Dash, Ferdinand, whatever. All these new characters, we're going to buy them. So you don't need to make a film that is specifically said, well, we're going to make the toys first and then make the movie. You don't need to Batman and Robin it anymore because Batman and Robin fucking sucks, and everyone in the entire universe, even if they're not even a Batman fan, but they know film, and they know that you cannot have a film which is a toy commercial. You can't have the toys come first and then make the movie. But that's all these new Thomas specials are is, hey, well, we want to introduce 4 new characters and a cool action scene. Can you make that into a movie? Andrew Brenner is like, oh shit, I guess so. I'll put your ingredients into my movie microwave and hit 2 minutes, and we'll have some decent arc animation, and then bada bing, here's your movie. Go market that to the world and put the stamp of approval on all the exclusive merchandise to make the kids feel like it's a really special thing they're buying. Ooh, this set's it says Tale of the Brave on it, so you can only get it in the Tale of Brave time or whatever. But
even
they
though
do
there's
it
definitely still Tale of the Brave sets available on Toys R Us.
Exactly. But you keep doing the same thing over and over again. We are no longer in the 80s where the toy comes first. We've had some amazing television shows in the past couple of years, like Adventure Time and Gravity Falls.
Yeah, where's Turtles at for that one?
Shut up. Don't even stop. And Steven Universe. All of these shows are fantastic, and they're geared towards children, and they are dictated not by the merchandise, which may be successful, like Adventure Time's case, it's very successful, but the show came first. The show came first before the movie, before the show. I mean, there's a couple other movies and like specials and stuff.
Yeah.
But the show came first before the merchandise was ever really considered. Thomas and Friends is a show that people used to think was like, oh yeah, there's books and now there's a TV show. As someone who knows how Mattel works, I've seen certain things they say and certain things they know and certain studio notes. They see it as a toy brand. They purchased it from Hit Entertainment as a toy brand that happened to have a TV show. That's not the way it should be, because Mattel is a toy company. And they bought Thomas and Friends not on the basis that there was even a TV show at all, but on the basis that, yeah, we got Trackmaster, Take and Play, and Minis, and Wooden Railway. We got these great toys. It's going to be fucking fantastic. Man. We're going to milk that cash cow even more. Yeah. But the thing, you can't do that anymore because it's 2016 and everyone's waking up to your fucking bullshit. Because, like I said, we have amazing kids shows now that are no longer dictated by the merchandise, but by the story and making a good story with good characters. And then you can go sell your merchandise. You can go make your Adventure Time condoms and dildos or whatever. But you cannot keep doing the, yeah, okay, well, we got to have 4 or 5 new characters and a bridge jump. Can you make that a new movie, Andrew Benner? Thank you. You don't need to do that anymore, but they keep doing it. You see these extraordinary engines thing with like Hugo, the propeller engine, all this shit. We are seeing the designs for the new characters and the trailers and whatever before any of this stuff comes out. The Great Race died out before the film was even released because of the ridiculously early merchandise that was made and the ad campaign with the stupid fucking YouTube videos of
those were pretty dumb.
promoting the Great Race characters and, oh, here's here's Axel and of Belgium and blah, 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 blah. You had an entire year to do this and you wasted it all in like April and May, and then you had a cinematic release in the UK and it died. It fucking died. And then you waited 3 months, but we're still gonna do this merchandise stuff. So by the time that you released it to the rest of the world in August, nobody really gives a shit anymore because a lot of people in the UK already saw it and filmed it and uploaded it to YouTube. So that's the reason I saw The Great Race 2 times before it freaking was, released on DVD. Tale of the Brave is a film that didn't do this as nearly as terrible as The Great Race did. But watching it after The Great Race came out made me realize how terrible all these things are, because I started noticing similarities in the merchandise and the marketing and especially the story structure, because The Great Race, you get this really cool introduction and cool songs, and then it just stops for like 25 minutes so Thomas can, try to get painted, try to do this and try to do that, but they never, ever get the perfect, or not even close to perfect. Legend of the Lost Treasure, honestly, was a really interesting film, but it wasn't a perfect story. There was still that 20 minutes of fucking nothing that they did in the middle, and they still had to do the merchandise thing. Luckily, we got Andrew Brenner said, hey, maybe 3 of these engines can be like Railway Series characters. I don't know, but I'll suck your dick for it. And Mattel's like, yeah, well, you want to suck my dick? He's like, yeah, sure, man. Just unzip it. And they unzip their pants and you suck their dick, and that's why we have Mike Burks and Rec. Oh fuck.
Mike's Burke and Rec.
We have the Small Railway
there we go.
TV show now specifically because of that dick sucking, metaphorical or literal, whichever one it is. Probably a little bit of both.
Whichever one floats their
boat. We have the characters in the show because Andrew Brenner begged and pleaded that the contractually mandated new characters that will be introduced and will sell toys, they wanted to be Railway Series, and that's the best that they could get. And that's why that film, if you think about it from the standpoint that the Small Railway engines, say the Small Railway engines weren't in the Railway Series at all. Nobody knew about them before the film came out at all. They're new characters. They were created by Andrew Brenner. Nobody would give a shit about them. They would just be, it'd be Merrick and Owen, because Merrick and Owen from Blue Mountain Mystery. They do so much in the show now. Oh my god,
I forgot they existed too.
Exactly. And it's, Winston might show up like once a season because Samson does some stupid stuff on the main line, then Strahman will come by, sure, and Winston, why not? But Winston isn't a character anymore.
Nope.
Merrick and Owen aren't characters anymore.
I'm pretty sure they don't even exist anymore.
They're in the background of like one shot per season because they got to have that, Blue Mountain Mystery, Blue Mountain Quarry scene. But the thing that I'm just getting out of all of this is the fact that we no longer need to have the toy comes first and then the movie. But that's what we've been getting for so long. And Tale of the Brave is one, not The Great Race is the worst offender.
Yes.
Definitely, of course, because it introduced like 13 new characters, had a shit story. But we already did it. We already did an episode about that.
Yeah.
Tale of the Brave, story wise, makes the least sense because the Great Race. You can argue all these new characters. It makes sense because you're diving into this new world of this railway show with these new characters. So you need new characters. Sure, okay, that works fine. Okay, but the Tale of the Brave makes the least sense because it's the only special where there isn't a new blank being built. There's not a new, oh, we're restoring Ulfstead Castle, oh, we're building a new airport, oh, we're restoring Great Waterton, oh, we're making the Sodor Search and Rescue Center, oh, we're building the Harwick branch line, oh, we're going to the Great Railway Show, we're building this, we're making that, we're restoring this, we're restoring Hero, we're trying to find the Magic Railroad. All the other films have some sort of something going towards it. There's a new blah 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 being built on the island, and there's new characters that come with that. Every film has a new blah blah blah, or something is being restored or being built. Something was found. There's a new blank with new characters. Tale the Brave is, fucking Reg. Yeah,
It's Gator. You know what it is? It's Gator's confidence.
Gator's confidence is the new thing being built?
Gator and Percy's confidence. That's the thing being built.
Sure. Okay. I mean, yeah.
We'll go with that.
All right. Yeah. But the big argument that everyone has defending Tale of the Brave is that, oh, it's really based on story, and it's really based on the character development. And the characters don't develop.
No.
They do not develop because Percy is still the tiny wimpy pussy character. He still is. That's the reason Thomas even did anything at the Great Railway shows, because Percy was like, I'm too scared to do it, Thomas, blah 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 blah. Because we did not evolve. He had his little Gator character arc of I will be brave, and he fucking wasn't. The very next season he was talking about how he wasn't brave and he didn't do this and he went to the mine shaft and blah blah blah. The character development didn't happen. It happened within the film. As the film on the whole, they did that, but people argue The Tale of the Brave is like one of the best films, if not the best film, because of the character development and the characters. Oh, well, there wasn't much happening in the film, like, dynamically, but there were character things happening. Well, Thomas is boring as fuck. He doesn't learn anything. Percy is annoying. He's so annoying, so out of character, and his little plot with Gator doesn't go anywhere because Gator fucking disappears. And then James learns not to be a dick, but that is the same James arc that we have been having literally since season 1 in 1984. The only James thing that they know how to do is, hey, James, you're a pompous asshole. Maybe stop being a pompous asshole. And at the end, he's like, oh, great, guys, I won't be a pompous asshole anymore. But the next fucking episode that you are, James is a fucking pompous asshole again. That's the only character thing they know how to do with James. And they keep repeating it over and over and over again. Percy is the pussy character, so he's got to have some sort of like, I'm not so brave. Oh, well, you are brave, Percy. Oh, maybe I am brave. Guess what? You're fucking not brave, because the very next fucking episode, you're fucking pussy again. So it doesn't work. And Thomas like, I guess I'll go to the clay pit. I guess I'll just go to the clay pits. I mean, I guess. He doesn't do anything in the film. It's not a Thomas... It's not a Thomas story, but that's okay, because if you had the other characters that were interesting and developed and worked in the right way, that'd be fine. You know, freaking the one thing I can say that's one of the very few things I can say about Day of the Diesel is the fact that it's not a Thomas film. It's a Percy film, and it's done terribly. But it's a Percy film, and it's a film that right off the bat said, hey, you know what? Thomas is not going to be the main character. Tale the Brave was like, yeah, Thomas is the main character. Shit, he's boring. Go to Percy. Go to Percy with his new character. Oh, shit, Percy's not that interesting either. Well, maybe James can be a dick. That's what he's good for. He's got a big dick. Sure, whatever, man. And they keep doing it over and over and over again because they don't know what to do with these films, because Mattel sees them as giant toy commercials, but we don't need to do that anymore because the toys will be sold regardless. We are going to buy Thomas and Friends toys. It's going to happen. There's nothing on Earth that can make us not buy these toys. We went through hell and back with Misty Island Rescue, and you know what? We went and bought Bash Dash. I own Bash Dash and Fernand in wooden form because of that special. It's a terrible special, but I still spent my hard-earned money to buy merchandise from that film. So it's proven that we do not need to have shit story anymore and just have feature-length toy commercial. We don't need to do Batman and Robin anymore. But they have never stopped doing Batman and Robin. And just for once, I want to see a film that doesn't have that 20-minute block in the middle where nothing, fucking nothing happens at all. And the new characters sort of just don't really do anything. I want to see a film that's actually a film and not just a big CGI cartoon toy commercial with that one contractually mandated action scene so that we can make a Trackmaster toy where Thomas does the one cool thing. Because you notice, if you look at the Trackmaster sets that are based on the big specials, they're trying to outdo the one that they did last year. They did the Legend of Lost Treasure one was like, oh, we're gonna spin around. It's gonna be in a pirate ship. It's gonna be really cool. This, you're like, you know what? We're gonna have Thomas fucking fly. You know, we can't get any better than that. We'll just have him fly. So every year they're trying to outdo the last one. We're trying to outdo the last one, and they took a giant step backwards with the Great Race, with so many freaking things. But we're back to the same freaking story that we never really left because it's the same thing over and over, and we just keep eating. They have us by the balls, and we're just gonna keep sucking on the freaking Mattel's big fat money teat. We are still doing the same stupid thing over and over again. And what, the Great Race has been out for like
Couple
on
months.
DVD for like what, 2 months?
Something like that.
Something like that. And within that 2 months, we already see the extraordinary engines and Hugo, and hello, I'm Hugo, blah, blah, blah. And here's the blimp character, and here's the Tommy toy that goes with that blimp character, and the Trackmaster thing, and the blah. Oh, here's our wind-up version of the cool toy. With less than 2 months from the film being released, we are already getting amped up for the new extraordinary engines and the Earl's new fantastic railway museum or whatever he's doing. We are doing it again, and the film hasn't even been out for 2 months, and we're already moving on to the next thing, moving on to more toys being purchased because it's the same thing over and over and over again. Mattel doesn't know what to do because they have a really successful toy brand. They have a really, really successful toy brand, and they're just like, okay, well, now what? Andrew Brenner, you just put the magic beans in the ground. We'll make a giant fucking beanstalk, and you can hump that for the longest time, just so we can get more money out of it. For some reason, they keep doing it over and over again. The toys will be bought regardless, so make a good film to go with those toys, because they have yet to make a good film that goes, hey, there's merchandise that's made from this film, and also we have a story that doesn't stop for 25 minutes in the middle, just so that the characters can, oh, I don't want to pull the mail train. Well, I'll pull the mail train for you, Percy. Oh, now I have the confidence. I'm going to pull the mail train again. Hey, guess what? Maybe I'm not going to pull the mail train because there's some scrap thing. Oh, now it's the fucking mail train show. Oh, great. Well, I love Gator. I'm going to fucking suck on his teats more. I'll grab mail train. Oh, the scrap monster, blah. The same thing over and over again. For over 20 years, we've been doing this. And it just never ends because of these stupid new characters and Mattel looking at it from the toy standpoint and not from the film standpoint, because they are a toy company, so you got to give them credit somehow. They're doing what they know, but they need to realize that the toys will be purchased regardless of the quality of the film. That's why Misty Island Rescue even exists, is because of the toys, and the film is terrible, but we still bought the toys. People went out there and made customs of the great. My friend Reese from the Thomas Critter Collective, regardless of how shitty it is, there's a lot of really good people in the Thomas Critter Collective.
There are.
And he made, like, I don't know how many, but he and his friend Darby made, like, every single Great Race character for HO, for electric trains, not some out of cardboard, whatever. Actual HO functioning models of all of the Great Race characters. Every single one of those tiny characters that did nothing. He did it's like 12 out of the 13 characters. That's incredible. You have the fan base in such a fantastic spot. Why not make a movie that reflects on how incredibly successful your toys can be? A film that would actually work. Because Tale of the Brave is such a shit film. It's interesting. The animation is good. The characters suck, but the toys are like, yeah, well, they're okay, I guess.
I like how at the start of this video you were like, it's not great, but it also isn't the worst, and you slowly have hated the movie more and more as you talked about it more.
I'm talking about it more and more because Oh,
That's the same way I felt about Batman v Superman.
it's not okay. It's not the worst offender of of bad stories, but it's the worst offender in terms of the characters introduced in Tale of the Brave do nothing to the plot. Do nothing. Reg appears in one scene. Timothy and Marion. Marion's a great character. Everyone loves Marion. But holy shit, she does nothing in this movie. Like, absolutely nothing. She is just there to sell toys. And they developed her character a lot further in later films. And that's great. That's why people love her. But if you look back at Tale of the Brave, where she came from, it's like, oh yeah, wait, Marion was in that? What is she doing? Oh, she scoops the dino feces into a truck and then does nothing. Oh, well, that's kind of terrible because in, The Legend of the Lost Treasure, she actually did stuff. She was a character. Well, what'd she do here? Oh, done nothing? Why? Because she's a fucking toy that Mattel needed to make more money, and that makes sense as a company. But if the money is no longer part of the equation, the money is going to be made. There is no longer, oh, I don't know if we can make another Thomas series. We're running out of money here. Well, I'm Britt Allcroft. I'm going to, put a double mortgage on my house to make the first season. That's no longer, we're no longer doing that because it's a multi-billion-dollar toy franchise. But we're still making the same film over and over and over and over and over again. And Tale of the Brave did it. King of the Railway did it. Legend of the Lost Treasure did it. Adventure Begins didn't really do it because that's not even really a movie. It was a Walmart exclusive film that Andrew Martin's like, hey, can we do the Railway series? Walmart dictated the Adventure Begins just to exist, so that easily could have been a 45-minute, hey, Thomas shops at Walmart, you should shop at Walmart. That's what the film could have been, but it wasn't, and we got so lucky with that. And then we
railroad tracks in Walmart.
Exactly. And it's like, oh, great, Adventure Begins was great. What's the next thing going to be? Oh, it's going to be like a really cool pirate story with John Hurt, but it's also going to be the same movie with the toy commercial and the big 20-minute chunk in the middle where nobody does anything.
Yay.
And The Great Race is the same thing. It's all the same thing. Mattel needs to know that they don't have to be afraid to make good movies anymore. It's okay, Mattel, come out of the closet. It's fine. We accept you as your stupid, ridiculous, bright, colorful gay self. That's fine. I work for you, so obviously I know a thing or two about this. But holy shit, you need to make a good movie because Andrew Brenner is a good writer. ARC are fantastic animators. You still have ARC. They went bankrupt, but you still got ARC. They're great. Use your resources. You don't need to make the Smurfs movies anymore because the Smurfs movies are just made to sell toys. And all these things are just made to sell toys. But Thomas and Friends doesn't need to do that anymore because the toys will be bought. Regardless, Tale of the Brave is such an ironic title because it's the tale of how Mattel is so not brave by doing anything dynamic with their film. It's a shit film, but it's not the shittiest of the films because it's the tale of the freaking we can make toys and maybe there's a dinosaur and yeah, I guess just buy it, please.
So overall, I think it's safe to say you didn't like Tale of the Brave very much.
I liked it a lot when it came out, but now, oh my god.
Yeah,
holy shit.
I'm going to put a cap on this because we're about to hit the hour mark pretty soon, and both of us have stuff to do soon.
I have to go to school in 5 minutes.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So, what did we learn today, kids? We learned that Tale of the Brave triggers everyone. We learned that Andrew Brenner sucks Mattel's dick. And we learned that Chris O'Donnell's gotten fat.
Chris O'Donnell's gotten very fat, yes.
Thank you guys for listening to this episode of the podcast, which really was just Vinnie shouting with me making occasional interjections. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Next week we'll be doing something. I don't really know. Thank you for...
We'll figure it out.
Thank you for ranting for us, Vinnie. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And I'm Matt, and he's Vince, and the links are in the description below for all of our stuff. Find us there. Goodbye, everyone. You good?